And ladies and gentlemen, Lisa
Tringali. Thank you very much, Chris. Hey, I never knew that she was in the military. I was in the military myself.
All right.
I was also in the Navy. I was stationed at Tringali, Sicily, USS Never Sail, Type 3 Sea Duty, yes sir. That means that you get Type 3 Sea Duty pay and live on an island and never have to hit a boat. The USS Never Sail. And I went through boot camp in Orlando, Florida. I had a little pent-up energy, and after my basic training, I talked to a friend of ours, and you see in the military, in the Navy, and I think Chris can relate, that men were considered trees. Do you remember they were considered trees? You don't look at them. They're just part of the scenery, trees. So we got ready for leave that weekend, and I said to my friend, so what are you planning on doing on leave? She says, I'm going tree climbing. Oh. Yeah, and from what I hear, she climbed a few of them and had a good time. Well, I had a little bit of pent-up energy. I had my mother come down, my grandmother come down, and we went to a nightclub. I'm in full Navy uniform outside of a naval base. And this guy was obviously a Marine. Why was he picking on the Navy outside of a naval base when half the people in there were in uniform? And he thought it was funny to call us all squids. I had a few drinks in me, had some energy in me, and I said, yeah, you know what? I'm a squid. You're in the Marines. We're on the same team. No, you're a squid. I'm a Marine. I says, listen, buddy. I says, I'm a squid, and I'm proud of it. My favorite pastime is to swim around the ocean and shit on marine life. Yeah. We're on the same team. Why cut my throat? The next day, we went to the hotel. I'm in my bathing suit, still had my dog tags on, and I see him at the poolside, reading a newspaper. He shakes that newspaper out. He says, squid. I said, hoorah. You think you went in the pool? He's afraid to get shit on. Yeah, absolutely, yeah. I have to say that I am a creative person, and after listening to this gentleman's poem, I am a writer. I'm writing a book right now called The Woods Are Dark, and I also write some poetry. I got inspired by this gentleman sitting here, and I just wrote this poem tonight. I hope you guys can appreciate it. There once was this man who lived in a Jeep. He got so tired he decided to sleep. While dreaming and snoring, he got a little horny and woke up with a great big beep beep. Woo! Yes. Well, I can say those things without offending anybody. I'm single, and I'm single by choice. Anybody else here single? Come on, yell it out. I'm single. Really? Nobody chooses to be with you either? Hey, don't get upset. It's okay. I'm not afraid of being single. I actually celebrate it. I am 7 years jackass free. Yes, give me an applause. 7 years jackass free. Woo! I deserve a pin. Absolutely, I deserve a pin. Now, don't think that I'm coming down on men. I haven't done that in 7 years. Men are good for some things, you see. The only problem is what they're good for and they're not good at. Whoa. But there are some things they're good at. They're good at fixing shit and killing shit. When I had a man in my life, everything was great. Well, not so great. I had a jackass. But right now, I'm living with spiders and my VCR doesn't work. Anybody want to help me out? Anybody want to kill a bug or fix a machine? No? Okay. Well, being single, though, you end up dating some really weird guys. I dated this guy that lived in his car. I'm still on the fence whether he was homeless or not because he chose to live in his car. He made a lot of points. He said he saved a lot of money. He wants to get a nice big place. I just wish he was a little clearer when he said he wanted a Hummer. I didn't realize it was a bigger apartment. But I mean, he did save money. I mean, if you think about it, it comes fully furnished. It has a great lease-to-own option, and it has central air and central heat. The problem with dating a guy that lives in his car is when the date is over, how do you send him home? Yeah. He looked like a deer caught in the headlights. Thank you, Mike. It was great. Good night. Where do you go? I woke up the next morning, he was parked out on my front lawn. He spent the next week there. I couldn't get him to leave. Finally, I said, I'm going to call the authorities. I went to the police department. They went and investigated it. They found that a side view mirror converts to a mailbox that has the half sign on it. So no matter where he parks, he's always got an address like 51 and a half, 31 and a half. He actually took up residence. I said, oh my God, how am I getting rid of this guy? And they says, well, now it's a housing court issue. You have to go down and get him evicted. So I told him, I'm like, Mike, look, you gotta move on. I'm gonna get you evicted. Well, it finally sunk in, and one day I woke up and I went outside and he was gone. And I felt relieved and I felt a little sad at the same time. And I decided, you know what, he wasn't really a bad guy. I think I'd like to date him again, but I couldn't find him. Bastard kept moving. It was really awful. I missed him so much. But, you know, he made my ex-boyfriend look really bad. Because Mike lived in his car. It was a smart car, which I had to laugh at because it was like a roller skate or a ping pong on wheels. I mean, you hit it just right as like boing, straight up in the air. But it was really convenient. I saw him change the oil from the front seat. It was really good. I mean, he only had to put oil in it every 5,000 miles he saved on the heating bill. It was awesome. And the money he saved, he took me out to the best places. It was really great. But the ex-boyfriend, a.k.a. Jackass, wanted to come back into my life. And I never realized what a pain in the ass he was. You know when you get into a relationship, you get really comfortable? You sit around the house, you eat pizza, Chinese food, watch movies, and you get fat. And you look at each other and you don't care because you're stuck with one another. I told him, I said, you know what? I can't do any better than you can't do any better than me, and we can't do any better than each other. So we were kind of stuck with it ourselves. The only problem with getting fat around the middle is that I gained 2 inches around my middle, he gained 2 inches around his middle. That only left us 2 inches to work with. So that really stunk, you know? But he used to pick on me about being heavy. And I went to the store and I found a pair of jeans that I really wanted to wear, and I did have to squeeze into them. And I said, I only have to lose 5 pounds. Can't you let me wear these jeans? You know, it's only 5 pounds. Oh my God, what a headache he gave me. Are you kidding? How are you going to lose 5 pounds? You can't lose 5 pounds, as if it's impossible to do. I told him, I says, listen, buddy. I says, give me 5 minutes. I'll lose 185 pounds. I'll get rid of you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all for coming out and supporting this great event. And I'm going to hand the microphone over to Dennis Worth, and we're going to bring up our headliner, Jerry Cruz.